You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Good morning, children. Today is a special day for me. It's my 87th birthday. And I want to show you where I was born. This is the home where I was born 87 years ago, February the 8th, 1933, in the morning. Of the 6 children my mother had, I was the largest. I weighed 10.5 pounds when I was born. And this is the little room where I was born, right here. That's the bedroom. That's where my older brother, myself, and my other three brothers and sisters were born at home by a midwife. My sister was born in a hospital, and my dad and mom had to pay $100 expenses for her birth. But we were born at home, and we had a midwife, a woman who specialized in helping mothers have children, and she just charged $20 for each birth. So my dad paid $100 for my oldest sister, and he paid $100 for his next 5 children. That was a pretty good deal, wasn't it? In those days, many children were born at home with midwives. Now most children are born in a hospital, but not all. Midwives are still helping mothers have children. Now, this house was built in 1928, and it is now 92 years old. And this is the home that we lived in from 1929 until 1946. Upstairs here is an attic. It's only about that high, about 4.5, maybe 5 feet high, but I don't think it's quite 5 feet. And so when we moved from here, I was already 13 years old. My brother was 15. So when we went upstairs to bed, our mattress laid on the floor. We had to bend our heads down to walk to our beds, and we laid on the bed, which was on the floor. We didn't have a regular spring mattress because there was no room for it. So we lived in pretty cramped quarters, and this is the house is called a bungalow. A bungalow is a small home. This home here is a 2-story house, and the one on the side over here is a 2-story house. Mrs. Lohr lived over here. Mrs. Vance lived here. And I knew these people very well. In fact, of our 35 homes on our street, there were 3 bungalows, and the rest were all 2-story homes. And these homes all had something unique. Of the 35 homes, 30 of them had porches like this. 3 of them had just regular door with a small stoop. And this porch was where us kids played when it rained, and we were out of the weather that way, and we could be outside. And this is where people sat in the evening when it was hot outside. They didn't go in the house to go to bed. We had no air conditioning. We would open the windows and let the cool air flow in. And about 9 o'clock, people went to bed this summertime, maybe 10, because it was so hot. And people sat on the porch in the evening talking, but they also sat on the porch. For example, in the morning, my mother would get up, have her cup of coffee. She would go out here and sit on the porch, and if she saw a neighbor walk by, like Mrs. Lohr, she'd say, "Hilda, come up and join me for a cup of coffee." And Hilda would say, "Okay." And they'd go up and they'd sit and talk, have coffee. People were very friendly in those days. It was a very good community, and you could call on anybody for help. Homes were close together, and people, I think, loved each other more and cared more for people than they do today, because they lived closer together, and we shared the street. We all played in the street, and very few cars were coming down the street in those days. Very safe, but there was something unique about this house. It was the front yard here had a row of shrubs. I'm going to show you what it looks like. This is called a spirea bush. This spirea bush is beautiful, it smells nice, and it grows fairly tall. And the branches on this were not something we liked for this reason. It says down here at the bottom, spirea bush, beautiful, nice smell, but a source of pain for kids who do wrong. What do you think that means? A source of pain? Well, I'll tell you what it means, because I experienced it several times. My brothers did too, and my sister. This bush made a perfect little switch. A switch is a long, thin piece of branch. And my mother would come here and snap it off. She'd take her fingers and go, whoosh, all the leaves would come off and the blossoms. And then she had a switch and would go, whoosh, 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 whoosh. And guess what she did? If I was, for example, I know one day she had planted some flowers on the side over here beside the house, and I pulled them all up. She was going to grow some petunias, and I didn't know you shouldn't pull flowers up at that time. I was probably 5 years old. And 5-year-old kids sometimes don't know what's going on. Well, I pulled the flowers out, and my mother caught me doing that. She came over, snapped the branch off, pulled the leaves off, made a switch, and guess what? I saw that. I took off running. But my mother at this time was only, let's see, she was 29 years old, and she could still run mighty fast. But I thought I was faster. My mother was following behind me going, on the back of my legs. I felt something hot. And guess what? That switch was hitting my legs and making my legs burn a little bit. And after she switched me a while, I stopped, and she said, honey, why did you pull my flowers out? I said, Mom, I didn't know what I was doing. She says, well, next time before you pull something out, ask me, okay? I said, okay. So I learned my lesson that day, not to pull my flowers out. Now, I had to learn many, many lessons, like we all do in life. Life is full of learning things, and some people learn faster than others, but I had lots of energy, and I got in trouble a lot more than most kids. You've heard some of my other videos and seen some of them, and you know, I wasn't a little angel. I didn't mean bad, I didn't mean harm, and I liked people, but I just somehow got in trouble. And I had to learn the hard way, and sometimes it's painful, what not to do and what to do. So I hope you don't have to get switched, but it didn't hurt me physically, except for a couple hours. My legs were hot and burning. But I learned a lesson. Watch out for the switch. In those days, mothers and dads used switches on kids. It didn't hurt the kids, but it kept those kids straight. And I think today's children sometimes need switching, and their parents don't do it. And I think the parents have a lot of trouble and a lot of grief because they don't take time to discipline their children. So when your mom and dad take time and give you some discipline and maybe spank your bottom or give you switching or whatever, or a little wooden spoon, like we got also, it's because they love you. That's why they're training you. If you don't get disciplined as a child, you'll grow up to be a bad person. You can end up going to jail. Or maybe worse yet, you might end up killing somebody. So this was a wonderful home to live in. We had nice neighbors. We had a large tree right here in the front, right in the front lawn here. We had a big sycamore tree, and we had a maple tree over here. And we used to have to rake all the leaves and stuff like that. But I'll never forget that spirea bush went clear across the front here. This is where we played on rainy days, and every house except 3 on our street had a big porch. And I played on lots of different porches with different kids with their toys. It was so much fun. I wish today we had porches like this. Some homes have porches, but not too many. And of course, they're not close to the street, and unless you go to an older neighborhood. So I hope you enjoy the story today. This is where I was born 87 years ago on this day, so it's my birthday, so I'm going to sing Happy Birthday to me, Happy Birthday to me, Happy Birthday dear Papa Charlie, Happy Birthday to me. Well, I hope you learned something today about how we lived a long time ago in little houses, and how we played on the porch, and how Mother sometimes had to take a switch and train their children. Thank you very much for watching. Tell your friends about me and my videos, and don't forget to look me up on Papa Charlie, the Storyteller. Okay, bye now.